Would a signing of Willie Snead answer any of the questions that are out there for the Ravens offense in terms of receiver position? No, probably not. Not in most people's minds. Are there better playmakers out there on the free agent market right now? I mean, yes, I guess there are. Will Fuller primarily being one of them who's made, more downfield explosive plays. But in my opinion, Willie Snead is a Raven. And it's at least something that should be looked at. I've been a big fan of his since I really started trying to break down NFL film for the Ravens. Starting in 2019. 2018, I had the idea to do so, and he had a great year for the Ravens in 2018. And I think he had a lot of impact in 2019 and 2020. He's tough as hell. Willie Snead blocks well. He understands the offense that Greg Roman had installed during those years. Now, look, it's my opinion that early in 2021, we saw some real changes on offense, more spread and 11 personnel, and Lamar being asked to execute some more in-depth passing concepts. Having said that, I have no question that Willie Snead would adapt quickly to any advancements in scheme or things that weren't installed, before he left for the 2021 season. Really, since T. Martin and Keith Williams have arrived, he's very aware in all. He shows a real awareness in all of his routes, whether it's against man or zone. I feel like Willie Snead doesn't get rattled. He's clutch. And there's definitely more flashy signings, and it's okay if you don't enjoy the video topic. I'm okay if you want to say the Ravens should wait until midseason and evaluate the receiver position at that time, because maybe at that time the return on the investment could be larger. We could trade for someone who could really put us over the top. I'm okay with that. I would also be okay with the Will Fuller signing here, to be honest with you. I'd be okay with that. Personally, I would advocate for something radical if we did sign a guy like Fuller and or a guy like Willie Snead. Basically, a strategic plan to hold, guys out of certain games and preserve them for the long haul. I think that might sound like a ridiculous opinion. We are dealing with a 17-game regular season schedule now. The potential for 3 playoff games, which the Ravens franchise has navigated that before. We had a different team back then. Number one, it was a 16-game schedule. Number two, but if we signed a guy like Fuller, I think you've got to look at holding him out of certain practices, certain games, to try to preserve him for. It's kind of unrealistic to expect him to go through a 17-game season with no issues, because that's just not been his MO. Willie Snead, to me, is tough as hell. He doesn't get injured. There's all kinds of negatives you want to talk about. Fine. He's 29 years old. He's only 5'11". He only had 4 catches for 2 different teams in 2021. And he was undrafted way back in 2014 or something like that, 15. We already have enough slot receivers. He's not a deep threat. All of those things are true to some extent. As we watch the film, I want to point out one thing for you. He has made plays for us. He's made plays for us. Not conjecture, not he has the potential to make plays. He has made plays. During those 3 seasons, 126 catches on 189 yards. I think I added all that up correctly. 67% catch efficiency on targets, and 80 of those catches went for first downs. He scored 9 touchdowns with us from 2018 to 2020. And he wasn't getting 9 or 10 targets per game. He wasn't even getting 6 targets per game. We wouldn't want that for him now. He played hard. Film showed a guy, a high effort guy. I'm not going to show, a whole lot of running plays. I'll talk about that in a moment. He blocked very well. Didn't need a whole lot of targets to play hard and make impact plays for us. And put his body on the line. I didn't remember this play. It's not like he burns up the edge here, for real. But he's got enough speed to get the job done. This was that, awful game against the Patriots in 2020 up there. The rain game, I guess you call it. He doesn't look like he should get in the end zone to me from here. But he figured out a way to. I guess you can, argue whether he does or does not get in the end zone. I think it's a great play by him. I think it's a good job blocking on the edge by Boykin and Andrews. This one I did not recall at all. When I saw some people on Twitter talking about Willie Snead, I thought, I'll do a video, because I've always just admired him. I've always liked the way he played. I always liked the fire that he brought to the situation. I, many times remember him after the play kind of getting in a DB's face and jawing a little bit. I like it. I'm not going to cover any blocking schemes again, but he was used on our option read schemes a lot. I've covered the dual read in previous videos. This is a little China out route or whip route to the outside on a 3rd down. I think he gets the first down. I think we are moving away from the pistol option, to be real. So maybe we don't need someone who's experienced in that dual read stuff, but we know Ricard and Boyle are generally used as guys to read the dual read plays out of the pistol option set that we use so much under Greg Roman. But there was a game against the Rams in 2019 where Snead was used as that guy reading the option with Lamar at the same time in motion, which is a unique skill set. In any case, let's look at, I think, 3 plays in a row of bunch sets. And look, I guess Snead, I need to say this, Snead probably won't sign with the Ravens, right? Based on some of the things that we heard in the offseason. But I didn't think the interview that he gave was really that bad concerning the Ravens offense. You know, people piled onto it. At that point, he's not playing for the Ravens and doesn't think there's any opportunity. I hope he gets an opportunity to sign somewhere. I do. He's 29. I think he can still contribute to a good team. He played very well for us. And I wanted to produce something to show respect for that because I always thought he was a better player than given credit for. And, who knows, who's available as the season goes on, who gets injured, who we're unable to sign and or trade for. We might need him. So bunch sets, I think 3 or 4 plays in a row here. You're typically used to Andrews being the point man and, running this over or this climb concept. The Ravens kind of switch it up on this one. Andrews runs a shorter route here. And that kind of holds this free safety. You can see as I rewind this back, I know the video resolution isn't great, number one. And number two, it's real foggy. You can see this free safety hedge to this side because that's where Andrews is going. And then Snead crosses his face and runs over top the linebacker level on, I call this a climb route. Some people call it a lube route, a deep over route, whatever you want to call it. You get the end zone angle here. Snead here, Andrews there. And Snead's going to run this route basically crossing the free safety's face and takes a big shot as he catches his football. That's one thing I noticed about him often was he took big shots and he was okay with it. Cleveland 2019, I believe, maybe 20. There's Andrews, same formation to our right, bunch. Inside receiver, Andrews. He's going to draw the attention of 2 DBs. We'll let this pull back and so you can see it again. And Snead beats a guy man-to-man. I mean, I don't even know who that guy is, but I know he's beat badly. I know he's an NFL DB early in the season, so I'm certainly not going to denigrate him like someone might say, oh, well, that's such and such. Of course he beat him. I just know it's an NFL DB that Willie Snead beat man-to-man down in the red zone. And I've shown you a touchdown catch against the Patriots on that concept. There's one against the Browns on that concept. To me, these are the types of things he can do. 29 years old, I would not expect him to be over the hill at this point. These 2 DBs, 23 and the free safety, both go with Andrews' underneath route. Similar concept to what I talked about with the Patriots. And you can see we're wide open. Got the guy beat really badly. This time we don't have to take a big shot. Let me know what you think. It's cool if you're not as invested or interested in it as I am. He had a big game against the Patriots in 2020, had an even bigger game against the Steelers. Damn near made what would have been a season-changing catch, really. This is a first down, I believe, or close to it. Maybe it's not a first down. It looks a little short. Smooth hands. I do not remember Willie Snead dropping many balls. And to my knowledge, what we need is smart, savvy receivers who can do things like this. Yes, you could say, well, Coach Holland, you're talking out of both ends there because you're saying you want Will Fuller as a big play guy. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having both of them. But, I'm one of those people also. I want to see the young guys get opportunities. I think that strategically it would be okay if we held certain guys out certain weeks. I think the NFL is moving toward that. If they do something really stupid eventually and go to an 18-game regular season, which I've heard mentioned, you're going to have teams who strategically hold guys out. Kind of like, you can't do this in complete effect, but kind of like Major League Baseball teams do with their starting pitchers. Gets open underneath, gets the first down on a 2nd and 6. Steelers were good defense in 2020. If you remember, that's the year they started off 11-0. Snead right here, just going to find the open spot. I think he's very good at making himself available when the quarterback is pressured. Certainly, the pocket is shifting somewhat. Lamar stepped up and then got this pressure, off the left side, so he's a little bit off balance. And Snead makes himself available. He does this often on film that I have here. And I think I've got film from 4 or 5 games. So just another third down. There's Snead as the point man. The route combination is kind of cool. I'll let it run, and I'll pull it back and kind of talk about it. Little China out, whip route, third down. Think he gets the first down, or if he doesn't get it, it's really, really close. Let's look at the route combination. You see some pre-snap communication with this DB here. Duvernay goes vertical, kind of pushes that DB into this one. And watch what Snead's little route does to this corner. Really pushes him off balance. I guess maybe it looked like Snead was going to go vertical to that DB. Gets him off balance, creates some separation, first down. Big moments for him late in that game. I think that was a second quarter throw. This is fourth quarter. You can see we're down at this point, even though we've been running the ball well against them. 2nd and 22. We had just had a sack. And Snead finds himself wide open against what looks like man to me, and just a blown coverage. 4th down, last possession of the game, 4th and 2. Under 30 seconds left. There's Snead on the left side, and I love this one. I think Lamar is definitely looking for Andrews here. I'll pull this back in a minute and talk about the whole thing. Andrews is well covered by the initial DB covering him, and then this corner who was on Snead is breaking here because he recognizes the route coming at him. Snead finds the open space. You could say he's fortunate if you want to, but the route design, if you ask me, this is designed to be an option. I think you got a short route here. You got the typical over route by Andrews. It looks like Snead and him kind of get congested somewhere in this area. That's what I think you got in terms of the options for Lamar. Let's see if I've got that number one route correct. Okay, so this one took you in a little bit. Snead adjusts his route. Not sure why these guys, nearly ran into each other. Finds the open space. 4th down. We don't convert it there, game's over. We lost on a couple of plays later anyway, but to me, he appears to have the clutch gene. There's the DB that's going to guard Andrews on this over route. Lamar has found Snead at this point. You can see right in the beginning of the play, he's looking at Andrews. He's looking here, and then he's looking off over here to see if he's got space to throw it. So for whatever reason, Lamar identified that there's, this is really well covered. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I know I got a title bar up there. Snead gets wide open. Cool play. Guy is unflappable, if you ask me. He showed signs to me of being a clutch player. 5 seconds left in the game. We're down 4. 2nd down. This is obviously a huge hit by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And Snead doesn't catch the ball. Takes a monstrous hit. You've obviously seen that called before on the defense. I'm not advocating that they need to. I don't want to see the physicality taken out of the game. It's a one high free safety in the middle of the field look. So you're getting the classic 2 seam routes where we're reading this safety. If you're dealing with kids, high school kids, quarterback's going to try to look off one way, see if that free safety hedges over to that side, and then bring it back over here. You're dealing with NFL guys who understand that and all the nuance that's there. You can see this free safety just sitting there, patient, not giving away his intentions to either side, just breaking when Lamar pulls the pin on the grenade and makes a big hit. Here's Lamar, track him a little bit. Okay, he started his throwing motion. Fitzpatrick is beginning to break. Snead's there, though. Is it pass interference? Yes. Probably yes. Do I think it should be called? I don't know. I mean, yes, I guess. I'm going to say it's pass interference. Lamar is definitely looking at Andrews for whatever reason decides not to go there. I offer to you that Lamar trusts Willie Snead to be able to go to him in that position. I trust Willie Snead. I hope he gets an opportunity. In my opinion, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion probably, I don't mind. In fact, I relish having an unpopular opinion for real. I have my entire life. That's just the person I am. People like Willie Snead help you win football games at every level. That's based upon my experience, which is certainly nowhere near the NFL, obviously. I don't even try to put that out there like I've been anywhere near that level. I haven't. But people like Willie Snead who play hard, who block well, who play hard even when they're not getting the ball, they help you win football games. That's what I believe, and I'm not the only person who believes it. Do I think he's a, don't ask me, is he a number 2 or number 3 receiver? No, he probably ain't. He's probably number 4. But I don't care about number whatever. I care about people who make plays and people who show up consistently to do work, consistently to play hard, and consistently put themselves in the right position to take advantage of whatever opportunities they get. I hope Willie Snead gets an opportunity. If it's not with the Ravens, I hope it's with some team that we don't play. I think he is a Raven. I have said that on other videos. I think he's a Raven. Unfortunately, he chose to leave, or him and the team, chose to part ways after 2020. Things didn't work out last year. I think he was with the Raiders and Carolina, I believe. The two teams only had 4 catches on 8 targets, so not much impact. Let me know what you think of my thoughts. Willie Snead, the receiver strategy clearly seems to be we're going to go with what we have and then reevaluate, after 4, 6, 8 games, something like that. And I like that strategy. I think that's smart because we have draft assets that we can use to go get someone. If we're sitting there at 6-2, but the offense needs a burst, there wouldn't be anything wrong with trading away a first-round pick to go get DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett or whoever might be available that could come in and give us that big burst. The Ravens have done things like that before. With signings, 2019, we were spurred, if you ask me, by signing Marcus Peters. Bringing in Josh Bynes and LJ Ford obviously was a big deal too. But Marcus Peters was a huge asset for that team that we brought in midway through the season, or maybe it was week 7 or 8. I'll offer to you that, Matt, that's a smart strategy. I still wouldn't mind having Willie Snead on the roster because I think he's a better football player than we give him credit for. Let me know what you guys think of my video, my thoughts here. If you enjoy the content, so please subscribe to the channel. Consider joining the channel as a channel member for $2, $5, or $10 a month. Either one, the $2 option is great. I'm going to try to do a members-only live stream on Friday night. I've kind of improved my internet quality, hopefully. So this evening, I'm going to attempt to live stream just to members only, just as a test, to try to bring back some of the live streams during the season. That was fun for me. And I hope people who were around back then, appreciated it and have positive things to say. If you're not interested in joining the channel as a channel member, that's no problem. Please subscribe and comment down below to help the video get more exposure. Appreciate you guys' time.